All right, so a quick little update video. We got NFC East talk. We got Kevin Durant makes his Brooklyn Nets debut. One of them will be positive. One of them will be negative. There's also one other thing I wanted to get to. We'll get into that in the middle of it. But first, NFC East. So when I was talking to you guys after the game yesterday, the game had not concluded yet between the Niners and the Washington football team. And as we know, Washington won that game. Alex Smith got hurt during that, but Dwayne Haskins tried to come in and lose that game for them. Couldn't do it. Almost threw an interception for us, but that was it was ruled incomplete, unfortunately. So Washington got the win. Now they're 6-7 on top of the NFC East. The Giants go back to 5-8. The good news, of course, is the Giants hold the tiebreaker. So if both teams finish, let's say they both finish at 7-9, the Giants would win the East because they have that 2-0 head-to-head record against Washington. So that's the good news. The bad news is that looking at the remaining schedules, which I have to the left here, it looks like Washington probably has the same schedule as us. I mean, I think it's a little easier, to be honest with you. Like, they face Seattle, who we know is a good team. We were able to beat them a couple weeks ago. I think Washington probably loses that game. I know they won 4 in a row. I know they're playing very well. I think they lose that game. I don't think they have the offense to win that game. But then again, the Giants had no offense against them 2 weeks ago, so you never know. Week 16 against Carolina. I respect Carolina. I think they're a decent team, but that's the one I expect Washington to win, honestly. I think they'll win that one, especially being at home. Then at Philadelphia, Week 17, that one's a toss-up. I really don't know what's going to happen. We saw Jalen Hurts beat the Saints yesterday, which is very impressive, so they got that going for them. Then for the Giants, they're home against Cleveland. I don't expect to win that game, especially if Daniel Jones is out. I don't expect to win at Baltimore. Of course, the one Giants game you can see them winning is probably the Dallas game. So I personally expect both teams, Giants and Washington, to go 1-2 the rest of the way. And being at the currently looking at the schedule, if it ended up that way, then Washington would take the division at 7-9, and the Giants would be 6-10. So definitely not a good thing. I hope I'm wrong, but if I had to basically bet my life on it, I'll put it that way, I would pick Washington to win this division. But hopefully it goes a different way. That's pretty much it. The other thing I want to talk about, and people are complaining about this, I don't know why it pushes people's buttons in the wrong way, but Jordan Raanan had a tweet last night. I'm sure a lot of you that are active on Twitter saw this. He basically said, okay, I'll admit it, the Giants should have taken Josh Allen, the quarterback, in 2018's draft. And people just get so up in arms and butthurt about this stuff, and it's unbelievable. It's like, you see people saying, oh, well, they should have taken Mahomes too. Oh, they should have taken, they should have taken Aaron Rodgers. They should have taken this quarterback, that quarterback, and they just keep playing that game of going back in time. But why are you not allowed to say these things? No one likes a hypocrite. I get it, but looking back on it and being objective, why are you not allowed to look back on it and say, wow, if the Giants went with this quarterback back in 2018, it probably would have benefited them more than taking Saquon Barkley? Are you not allowed to do that? I don't understand. No one's saying, Dave Gettleman's a moron and the Giants are so stupid because, I'm stupid. I wanted Josh Rosen, and other people wanted Sam Darnold, and other people wanted some other player probably, or wanted Saquon Barkley. So, a lot of us are in the wrong. I didn't see many Giants fans at the time saying they wanted Josh Allen. So, no one's saying that. But why can't we look back on it 2.5 years later and say, maybe the Giants should have went that direction? No one's saying that they're stupid. It's just it probably would have benefited them more if they took Josh Allen, which is what I think that Jordan Raanan was getting at. But everyone wants to be up in arms about it, saying, oh, how could you say that? We can go back and play the hindsight game for everything. Well, this one makes sense because the Giants had a shot at Josh Allen. They could have taken him second overall, as we know. I think Josh Allen went 6th or 7th that year to Buffalo. So, I just don't get, why you're not allowed to go back and kind of think about things and say, well, what if we took him? No one's saying, no one's being hostile about it. We're just saying, what if? What if the Giants did this? What if the Giants did that? And that's part of the, part of the reason the Giants are in the position they're in right now. They did not handle 2018 and 2019 wisely. I still sit here on December 14th and hope that Daniel Jones is the future. I'm not going to grade him harshly yesterday because I think he played through an injury, as we all know. So I'm not going to be too hard on the guy, but I'll be honest, I'm not too optimistic about him being the future, franchise quarterback. I do think he'll be here next year, Daniel Jones, but I don't know if he's the franchise quarterback. I don't know if he's the guy. But what Jordan was saying yesterday was that it probably would have benefited the Giants if they took Josh Allen back then. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world, honestly. So I kind of just wanted to put that in there. I don't want to say I'm with Jordan, but I don't know why people are so like, I don't know, just so hostile about it. Just like he's just making a clear and obvious point. Like I don't really understand why people get mad about these things. I know it probably hurts the Gettleman supporters for someone to say that, and it's like, well, Saquon was the best prospect in the draft, and we all get that, but basically there's a really good quarterback in this draft, two if you include Lamar Jackson, maybe even Baker Mayfield if you like him. But Josh Allen's looking like a potential really, really good quarterback one day. And he's been playing out of his mind this year. So it's fair to look at that and say, wow, maybe the Giants should have taken this guy. I just don't see like the harm in doing that. Like we're not going back to Aaron Rodgers. We're not going back to Brett Favre. Like I don't know why people are bringing up those examples. This was 2 years ago. I don't know why people are just like, as I said, hostile about it. But it is what it is. I guess it's your opinion. Anyway, for the positive now, Kevin Durant made his debut for the Brooklyn Nets yesterday. His stats were 23 minutes played, 15 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 block shots. I do love Kevin Durant's defense, by the way, underrated. 3 turnovers. He was a little rusty at some points. He made a couple of uncharacteristic passes that were, resulted in turnovers, so that wasn't a good thing. But he was 5 of 12. You expect better, and 0 for 2 from 3. So I just want to say thank you, God, for getting him through that game healthy. That's the number one thing. But he looked pretty good. And honestly, Kyrie Irving looked amazing as well. I think Kyrie did not play the second half, but when Kyrie played in the first and second quarter, he was out of his mind as well. Kevin Durant looked more human out there, but at the same time, Kevin Durant looked healthy. And when he got that pass on the left wing, did a little pump fake and drove for a dunk, I said, oh man, he's back. Like now we know he's back. And it was great to see that. It's still kind of like settling in with me that Kevin Durant is a Brooklyn Net, and it might take a little while to fully realize that, but it's just amazing to have this guy here, and it's awesome having that insurance because last year when Kyrie Irving went down, it was like, yeah, the Nets had no chance at a championship, but in the event that Kyrie Irving goes down in this season, the 2020/2021 season, I feel like as long as they have a healthy Durant, like anything is possible. Like it would definitely help to have Kyrie Irving because I think Kyrie is a top 5 point guard in this league. I would argue maybe better because talent-wise he's unbelievable. But it helps to have him. But when you have Kevin Durant surrounded by awesome role players and you have, Joe Harris and Dinwiddie, Karis LeVert, Shamet, DeAndre, Jared Allen, like you have all those guys surrounding Kevin Durant, who's hopefully playing healthy and at a high level, you're still a championship team, especially in the East, which is not the best conference as we all know. So I think if the Nets are healthy, they will be a top 3 team in the East. And I think top 2, even number 1, is in the cards. I think Milwaukee's a team to be scared of. The Boston Celtics are a team to be scared of, but like there's really not many. I mean, of course, the Miami Heat, I got to give them some credit as well, but they don't scare me as much as those other teams. But the Nets, talent-wise, as long as they're healthy, should be a top 3 team. I would say top 2. So, I mean, we'll see what happens, and it all depends on the health of Durant and Kyrie and some other guys as well, and even Karis LeVert, who's had his injury history in the past. We just need them to stay healthy for a majority of the year, and especially be there for the playoffs. That's the big thing. But it was great to see with my own eyes Kevin Durant playing for the Brooklyn Nets. It sucks that there's no fans. I hate that part of it, but it is better playing in the Barclays Center and not like at the same neutral site in Florida. I will say it's better, and I don't know if it's safer. Actually, the Nets game is on right now. Kevin Durant just made a fall away elbow jump shot, but yeah, and this game's been on NBA TV 20 times. I probably watched it 3 times by now, but yeah, it was just awesome to see it. It was like a very very hyped debut because Kevin Durant's one of the best players on the planet, and to see him finally make that debut was awesome, and I definitely was not disappointed. So the Nets did not play much defense yesterday. I will say that. Reggie Perry, the rookie, made his debut. He looked like he belonged. I think someone said it. I think the guy's name is Matt Brooks on Twitter. I think he said that Reggie Perry looks like he belongs. That's a good way to put it. Reggie Perry was not incredible, but he looked like he belonged. He looked pretty good. He made a jump shot at one point. So he looked fine. I was happy about that. Chris Chiozza made the game-winning three-pointer essentially, so Chiozza's back. Happy to see that. Jeff Green made his debut. Didn't do too much, but he was all right. So it was nice to see. I'm excited for this Nets team. Hopefully they win a championship this year. I just hope they stay healthy. It should be a fun year, though, but I'm looking forward to it. For the Giants, they got to get another win that they were not expecting, whether it's Cleveland or Baltimore. They have to win the Dallas game, obviously, but they have to win one of the next 2 games to win this division. I have to basically say that. So, yeah, I don't expect Washington to lose out. The Giants have to beat Cleveland or Baltimore. Will they do it? I say probably not, but they can do it, so that's definitely a positive. So Cleveland plays tonight. We should probably root for Cleveland because there's a better chance if the Browns come off another big win against the Ravens here. Well, they are underdogs now, actually. I saw Cleveland's a plus 3. if they win that game, the Browns, there's a better chance of us catching them off guard the next week. So I know we play the Ravens in 2 weeks, but still, it's basically for your opponent next week. The Giants would benefit more if the Browns won tonight, I feel like. So hopefully that's the outcome. Anyway, for the film breakdown, I have all the clips on my computer. I just have to do the commentary, so that will be out tomorrow most likely. I don't feel like doing it tonight, I'm not going to lie. But anyway, I'll do it tomorrow for you guys. But yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you guys next time.